Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk with Todd here at Todd Beebe Music. Thank you guys so much for checking in. You know I appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. We always got a ton of guitar reviews going on here. A lot of people bring them in for me to do a setup on, and I ask them if I could do a review. Most people are really cool about it. We have a lot of private owners bringing them in for reviews, and like I said, ones I've set up and whatnot. There's guitars all over the place, so we're always doing reviews here. We got artist interviews and lessons and various things, so please hit that subscribe button down there. We appreciate it. This is a 2008 model, so it was the 50th anniversary of the 1958 Gibson Les Paul. This is in the beautiful Lemonburst, they call this. Now, keep in mind, when the original Sunbursts came out, 58, 59, 60, that are so revered, they all were pretty much standard Sunbursts. This kind of thing happened through the years. Some of the dealers would leave them in windows being displayed at a music store or whatever, and the sunlight would fade them, and you started getting these different types of bursts that people would name them. You'll see a lot of them come out this way that have a lot of the yellow tints still in them, and people tended to start calling them lemon bursts. It's kind of gone crazy with the type of bursts that there are now. There's like a million different titles and descriptions for, you know, various ones, but it's weird because, like I said, the original ones, 58, 59, 60, all had just that typical standard sunburst we all know and love, and you know, various ones faded or didn't fade. Some stayed in the case for 50 years and look immaculate. Some were in a window for a long time and couldn't sell and were exposed to sunlight. To this day, you know, people will take brand new Les Pauls and leave them out in the sunlight to get them to fade and stuff. So again, like I always say here, guitar is a very subjective thing. What one person loves, the next person hates, from tone to guitar types, colors, everything. It's all, you know, real subjective. This particular one, like I said, is a 2008 model made in the Gibson Custom Shop. That was still Rick Gembar and the team. You know, I love them here. I always salute that group. This has the VOS finish. Vintage original spec. The Gibson started doing in 2006. This is a 2008, so this is one of the earlier models of that. I love the VOS stuff because it's not, you know, nicked or anything like that, but it's got a very worn-in feel. The necks on them are, you know, rounded on the edges and everything. The fretboard, they take a lot of detail on these to get a real worn-in kind of feel to it. And you can really tell that they did, especially these early ones. This is a 2008, and I just love it. And, you know, they just do a great job there. They're still putting out the VOS stuff, and I still love it. They'll do even things like replicate the rust with, you know, fake things on some of the hardware, you know, fake rust obviously. But this is a great one. It's got the typical Gibson headstock that you would have on a 58 Mother of Pearl Gibson with the Les Paul model logo, rosewood fingerboard like you would have on a 58 standard here, trapezoid inlays, 2 burst buckers on this particular one, humbuckers, burst buckers as these particular models are called, 3-way toggle switch. We've got the ABR1, 2 pneumatic bridge and stop bar, tailpiece. Gibson really, in my opinion, started to knock these out of the park all through the years. There's, for quite some time now, 58, 59s, especially 1960 Les Pauls, they've always tried to replicate. And when these came out, the VOS models, I just remember everyone, including myself, saying, wow, they just really knocked it out of the park. I've mentioned this before on here. I remember reading a thing with Steve Miller, who owned a couple of these. I know he had a 59 reissue. I'm sure he still does. and a couple of 58s, and I remember reading from him that it was a golden era around that time, 2006, 7, 8, 9, right up till about 2010. And it's still the stuff the Custom Shop's putting out in 2022, when this is being recorded, is still awesome stuff. But I remember Steve Miller particularly talking about that time frame, about 2006 to 2010, calling it a golden era for the Custom Shop, and I really have to agree with him. Like I said, the VOS stuff came out in 2006, and they really were just paying special attention to a lot of detail on these. So as far as, you know, typical neck pickup on these with the burst bucker, this particular one, to my ears, the neck pickup is extra bassy, and I don't mind that at all. To me, you know, some people will go out of their way to kind of adjust that and get that out of there. And again, it's all subjective. If that's what you're going for, fine. For me, I remember having a conversation with Warren Haynes about this once, and I've never been a big tear out the pickups, redo everything kind of a guy. I mean, I'll pick a guitar up, play it. If I don't like it, I'm going on to the next one. I'm not going to say, oh, well, if I take the pickups out and change this, maybe... Again, if you're into that, fine. It's a subjective thing. But like I said, I had a conversation with Warren Haynes about that, and he said he's the same way. He's not a big tinker around with changing the pickups and all that kind of a guy. He'll just pick it up. If it's not what he wants, he's on to the next one. I'm the exact same way. This particular one, like I said, is very bassy on the neck pickup, which is what I'm on right now. Neck pickup, you get that nice creamy This is beautiful. Of course, the neck pickup, the bridge pickup, as traditionally would have on a Les Paul, is a little bit more bite. So just a beautiful, instrument here again, Lemonburst 2008 1958 reissue. Like I said, in my opinion, they really came into their stride with these, and to this day, if you grab a 58, 59, 60 reissue, also known as R8, R9, or RO, and even the 57 reissues are just beautiful. The Custom Shop just knocks it out of the park. Even the earlier in the 90s and stuff, they were doing some great stuff. But as far as the reissues, the minute you in the Custom Shop, in my opinion, when they started this VOS stuff in 2006, it was just, I mean, I remember everybody grabbing them at the time saying, wow, they have really just nailed it as far as, you know, they were doing comparisons between a real 58 and like this, and it was like, it's just spot on. I mean, they just nailed it. Obviously, there's always going to be a slight difference because when all is said and done, this is not a 58. It's a 2008. But, man, this is as close, as, in my opinion, as you're going to get to, you know, something where you're going to be spending $500,000 or up to $1 million in 2022 for what those are going for now, talking about an original 58, 59, or 60. But so beautiful work here from the Custom Shop. Let's get a close-up and look at her more in the case like we always do. Here we go. Check her out. Okay, so here is the case for the 2008 Gibson Les Paul 1958 reissue. Definitely period correct here. We've talked about these before. These came out from the Gibson Custom Shop in probably 2006. Before that, they used the round Gibson Custom Art Historic cases, which we've had in here many times, but this is definitely period correct. Let's open her up here. So there is the beautiful Lemonburst. Just a gorgeous finish. I'm going to try to get some more light on this so you guys can see it. That might almost be too much light. But you got fantastic wood grain going on here. And what they kind of call a plain top on these. These were very popular during that era. Still are. But that's got quite a bit of decent grain. It's not what I would call a heavy flame by any means, but you know, you could see some nice wood grain in there, and this is what they would call the Lemon Burst because it's got that bright yellow finish to it. Like I said, this is kind of based off some of the older original 1958s that had the full sunburst look to them, maybe stayed in the window too long and faded from the sunlight and came out with this nice yellow color, and people started calling that Lemon Burst. Zooming in here, we got those incredible humbucking pickups. Those are Gibson Burst buckers, which are becoming, you know, revered. Just awesome, awesome replicas of what were in the original 1958s right there. They replicate things even right down to like the aged. Got like the dark amber going on there, the aged tip on the toggle switch. Rhythm treble on the poker chip for the three-way selector. Typical, you know, top hat knobs with the bleeders on here. See, these are sometimes called bleeders in case there's any of you that don't know. Because you can poke yourself every once in a while, and that's what happens, although they make them pretty good nowadays, so you don't have to worry about that. But 2 volume, 2 tone controls, ABR1, 2 pneumatic bridge there with the stop bar, rosewood fingerboard with the trapezoid inlays there, coming all the way up to the Gibson headstock that you would have on a 58. They're even doing things here like the silkscreen Gibson logo is above the lacquer. You can't really tell on that, but on like a current modern day Les Paul 2022, they would put that silkscreen logo on, and then they would put the nitrocellulose lacquer over it. In 1958, they did all that first with the nitrocellulose lacquer, and then they went back and put the silkscreen Les Paul model logo over the top of the nitrocellulose, and that's exactly how this one is. So like I said, as far as replicating a 1958 Gibson Les Paul, this is about as good as you're going to get, in my opinion, without buying a real 1958. Let's flip her over and take a look at the back here. All right, so beautiful mahogany going on there. You've got the cavity to get into the controls and the cavity for the three-way selector switch. Typical stuff here. You got your aged binding, which is a big thing on the VOS finishes. You know, that yellowish binding, which is supposed to look like something that's over 50 years old, and it sure does. Beautiful mahogany back there. Beautiful mahogany neck going all the way up here to the Kluson style Gibson Deluxe tuners. Like I say, you can kind of see right there on those screws, they're like kind of tinted brownish. That's supposed to replicate like age and rust, which is what they do on these VOS finishes. Obviously not real rust, but they do a heck of a job of replicating that. Let's flip her back over here to the front. Okay, you can kind of see, I want to just zoom in one more time on this pickup here, these screws. You can kind of see on that one, it's got the brownish rusted tint. If you look up things about the VOS finish, there's like a VOS goop, for lack of a better term, that they just slop on a lot of this stuff and make it look that way. And it's just incredible because I'm not big on beating up guitars to make them look aged. I mean, again, it's a subjective thing. If you're into that, that's fine. Me personally, I'm just not. But when these came out, I liked them because it's supposed to look like and feel like just a well cared for Les Paul that's, you know, not all nicked up and stuff, but it's got the neck has a worn in feel, which this definitely does. And then they did some things like replicating rust. Okay, so zooming in on these pickups, you can kind of see it's got like the aged look going on here, even on the pickup covers where they look kind of aged and they've got that stuff on them. And again, this looked like this in 2008, so they make these burst buckers even look, you know, aged. And turning the flash off there so you can keep on seeing it, but just in a different type of a view. But the hardware looks very, you know, worn in, even though it's brand new. It came out of the factory like that in 2008. So again, just a beautiful example of what they were doing and still are doing in the Gibson Custom Shop. But again, this was the second year run of the VOS stuff, 2008, and this 1958 50th anniversary reissue here of the 1958 Les Paul from the Custom Shop. Just a beautiful example here in Lemonburst. All right, guys, so there she is in the case. Let's go ahead and give her a test drive here like we always do. I'm going to do like a Tom Petty type of track and jam along with it. Also Chicago type of a 25 or 624 type of a thing. And then do some slide stuff that's a little bit quick and stuff like I was doing. We might even jam along with a little bit of fast country stuff going on here. So here we go, the 2008 1958 reissue Gibson Les Paul in Lemonburst. Check her out. right, guys, so there she is, the 2008 Gibson Les Paul Standard 1958 reissue in Lemonburst. Just beautiful work from the Gibson Custom Shop. This is as close to, like I said, a real 1958 as you're going to get without paying real 1958 prices. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Maybe you've played a real 58, 59, or 60 burst, or let me know you know, what you think of the reissues, if you've played them, or if you want one, or whatever. Just let me know. Comment down below. And thanks so much for checking in, you guys. As always, find us on Facebook at Todd Beebe Music. And please subscribe in the lower right hand corner down there. You know I appreciate it. Thanks so much, you guys, once again for checking in. And we will see you again. Stay safe and love your dogs. Take care.